Starting the show way earlier than anyone expects, so we're probably not gonna have anyone tuning in. I'm singing for no one. Yeah! Crazy afternoon. So ready to be done with today. So damn ready. Let's pop this chat out. Done with that, done with that. Let's get this under the keyboard. Alrighty. Just waiting on Mr. Kyle. And then we'll be good to go. Let's see. Be right back.
You only know what you've been taught. You'll never stop, you get caught. You control the future when it's looking bleak. Seems like we're headed for another losing streak. When the fire's burning bright, and still we act like everything's alright. I guess if we ignore it, it will probably go away. If you believe that bullshit, please see it every day. Forget about friendship and let's destroy the enemy. That's one thing that I have learned. My enemies are just as close to me. to Disneyland. Went on all the rides, didn't have to wait in line. I drove you to your house, where we stared up at the stars. I listened to your heartbeat as I held you in my arms. We hung out at the river where we drank till half past 2. Nothing could go wrong anytime that I'm with you. The Christina hotel room and leaning out to that first kiss. Searching for a high school that you know doesn't exist. These are the things that make me free. I feel like I'm stuck in a stand by me. This night was too good to be true.
So what's up, chat room? What little of you are here, we're just waiting on Kyle and then we will get going. His train was delayed due to tracks. The train tracks were on fire or something crazy. Yeah. I don't get it. Figures it would be that weird night where we try to start early and he's not here. Ugh. So are you like listening from work or something, Bedrockness? Is that why you're gonna miss half the show? I'm glad we could accommodate you, Greyfire. Cal should be here in about 10 minutes. See if everything's working. Yeah, it's a big me. Woo! Let's get rid of that. We don't need that. Kyle. That. Cool.
looking older all the time, feeling younger in my mind. Here I am, doing everything I can, holding on to what I am, pretending I'm a Superman. Where are you now? I wanna talk to you. I'm sitting here alone, waiting by the phone. Where are you now? I wanna talk to you. If only you were home, I wouldn't be alone. I wait for you. Where are you now? Are you just toying with me? Do you need me to play all your high school games? Where are you now? I guess I'll try once more. I don't have much to say, but a pretend call that I made, and it's ringing in my head. Yeah, the last thing that you said now is said to me. I ask you just, what is it you've tasted? Your answer's hushed. I'm wasted, so wasted. Yeah, it's ringing in my head. Yeah, the last thing that you said now, all the promises you made, were the others just the same now within me? All those promises, they never work out right. Make me believe you were home in bed last night. Or did you sleep last night? Where are you now? I wanna talk to you. This obsession here today, is it pushing you away? Where are you now? I feel like I'm stalking you. Is it something that I lack? Why won't you ever call me back? Still it's ringing in my head. Yeah, the last thing that you said now, all the promises you made, were the others just the same now? Say to me. If only I was taller, if I had $1 million, maybe then you'd be with me. If only I was 18 and had the courage of the 18, maybe then you'd be with me. But for now, I have to dream about your smile, 'cause you're not here, and all I wanna say is that I really miss you.
All right, Kyle is here. Let's get him added and let's do this thing. Yeah. Screen region. Still can't hear you, Kyle. But I'm assuming that's because you are powering
Muted?
on.
Yes.
Ah, there you are. I thought it was because you were powering on or something.
Yep. Are we live?
We are live. Someone eating Cheetos? Oh.
Am I?
I thought it was you, and it was my roommate sitting next to me, who's just got like the douchiest setup ever. He just got a 3D monitor with a bunch of 3D glasses and shit. Oh,
Nice.
Oh yeah, let's show everyone Mike's douchey ass setup. Yeah, look at that. Woo! 3D glasses. It's in 3D. Yeah. So at some point in the near future, expect to see StarCast in 3 dimensions.
In 3D.
Uh-oh, I hit the button on the top of the camera. Something's gonna explode.
Alright, just so you know, I'm a 4D technician. Come over and kick you in the nuts.
You're a 4D technician?
Yep.
Nice. Alright, we still good. Camera fixed. Alright. Alright, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Are you
let's
ready,
do it.
sir?
Time is limited.
Time is limited. We are going live with StarCast number 120 for Thursday, September 20th in 3, 2, 1. StarCast is proudly sponsored by DoghouseSystems.com. If you use the code StarCast or Biscuit at checkout, you will get double memory on your next Doghouse system. And also TweakedAudio.com. Go to TweakedAudio.com for high-performance, noise-reducing earbuds. Use our code StarCast to get 30% off plus free shipping on your order. And finally, SC2QuoteOfTheDay.com. Daily quotes from the StarCraft 2 community. The site may suck, but the quotes are sick. Make sure to check out the quote archive with all the quotes from your favorite StarCraft nerds. Additional support comes from Starcrossed Volume 1, available for pre-order now on Indiegogo.com. It is the first collection of comics by friend of the show and cartoonist Joel Duggan. You guys know him, he used to do the best segments that have ever been on the show, so go check it out. With over 80 pages of comics and content, the book is a must-have. For more information, go to Indiegogo.com/Starcrossed Volume 1. Sponsor an episode of StarCast at thestarcast.com.
Yeah, it's about damn time for StarCast.
Incoming transmission.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 120 of StarCast, the StarCraft podcast. I am Garrett Weinzerl, and joining me, as always, who I believe just came from a train fire or something, at least that's what he told me, is Kyle Ferguson. How are you doing, Kyle? You do not look barbecued.
I am not. The train is, however. There's many different public service announcements. We are being delayed because crews are working on the track ahead. We're waiting for signal clearance, but today's message was we're being delayed because the tracks are on fire. And luckily it was the metal part that was built after the 60s, not the Capone-era wooden ones that would have just burned to the ground. But a quick public service announcement for everyone because I was stuck on a train for a time. Please use default ringtones because you're going to set a song, and before you know it, it's 4 years later, and that song is mega lame.
Can I ask what song it was?
Well, this guy didn't look like he wanted to be a rock star at all, nor did he look like he was hanging out at the county line and other Nickelback verbs.
Oh, that's terrible. Well, first off, it's his fault for having a Nickelback song as his ringtone.
Sure, I mean, I heard Usher
he
on
just-
a ringtone like 3 weeks ago.
Oh, wow.
And this was Yeah.
That's... Oh, yeah.
Little with little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha. It's Lyrical Genius, by the way. One of the best songs ever written. Just real quick at the top of the show, you are recording, right? Because I just started.
I'm good.
Okay, just wanted to make sure before we go any further and realize we missed the entire beginning of the show. And also, before we start, a big thanks to listener Jeffrey, who also supported today's show, but didn't give us a message to read, so I figured I'd just thank him personally for supporting this episode.
Sweet.
So thank you very much, Jeffrey. I have no idea if you want us to say your last name, so I'm not gonna. So let's get into it, Kyle, because there's so much to talk about this week. Obviously, first up is this giant Heart of the Swarm patch that, as always, we do a show Thursday, Blizzard decides to change everything Friday.
Apparently.
And we just missed it. And there's even more that was just changed today that we'll get to after we talk about the changes from last week. We talked a little bit about this on This Week in Blizz, but nonetheless, we'll get into it. Let's start with the Zerg. What changed with them? Because they've got the least amount of changes. The Swarm host was tweaked a little bit. The Locust attack range was decreased from 3 to 2. And David Kim wrote, awesomely wrote explanations for all of these, and I really hope we get more of this in the future. And he said that we are decreasing the range of the Swarm host Locust from 3 to 2 in order to slightly reduce the unit's effectiveness while still maintaining its usefulness in a number of different situations. Swarm hosts in the earlier stages of the game can be used by themselves, but in the later parts of the game, they will need to be used in combination with units like the Corruptor or the Infestor, which I'm all for Swarm host nerfs, personally.
Yeah, they're a bit strong. I actually found the counter to Swarm hosts last night, and it's battle cruisers, because you park one of those babies above those, and oh man, all of them are dying. It's great.
I would argue that the counter to Swarm hosts is anything that is an air unit and can shoot down.
Sure, but the battle cruiser kind of randomly fires in an area, hitting multiple targets. Not splash damage, but still a good job. And eventually, with time, Swarm hosts will be positioned like siege tanks, not all in one big clump. Everyone will start learning that putting them in separate places is a good idea, and that will, fade away. But this change is rather big. I mean, we all remember the Roach change from 2 to 3. I remember immediately playing after that patch with the Roaches and being like, oh my goodness, I can fire up ramps. This is incredible. Now the Locusts can't do that, and they have to get real up close and personal. And also it puts them right in Hellion range, Battle Hellion range as well. So that makes them a good counter to that too, because they are light units.
Yeah, which Battle Hellions was already a pretty decent counter, but it seemed to not be the best trade in the world. You were still losing more Battle Hellions than I personally felt I should be losing. Granted, of course, I'm not playing pro level, but
but that's the idea of the Swarm host, is give the player something to push into heavy siege lines, and also an immediate threat that needs to be dealt with. It's the exact same thing that's happening with the capital ship Tempest.
Yes.
You have to do something about it. You have to get some anti-air. You have to address the situation right then and there. Otherwise, soon you'll be either sniped to death or, in this case, overrun with locusts.
Yeah, indeed.
So I think there's a better change that might come through. This range change seems a bit odd, particularly because now, much like the Roaches were when their range was smaller, the locusts are all just piling on top of each other. And since you're usually sending locusts into an area you don't have creep, as well as the fact that they're not the fastest things in the world and there's no speed upgrade, you have to manually move them into range further than their range so that the ones in the back aren't just farting around like the old Immortals did.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, moving on to the Protoss, the Oracle has had its preordained ability removed, and basically I think we talked about this either last week or maybe the week before, that preordained overlaps with Revelation. They both grant sight, and they kept Revelation in because it grants sight, but it also is a temporary what's the word I'm looking for, reveal
Scan.
Temporary reveal. Yeah, exactly. It reveals cloaked units. So of the two, obviously that's the one I would want kept in if I was Protoss. So. Well,
and it was kind of silly. I like that the scouting ability and the ability to put sight on top of a building is neat and all.
Right.
It works better in certain situations, like versus Terran, because with Zerg doing anything, any building isn't going to reveal anything other than maybe the upgrade working on it. But you can assume if they have the building, they're probably going to get an upgrade in there. Exactly. And also the fact that this thing is as fast as a Mutalisk. And so if you really want to scout, you can just fly it on in. But I will say that the Oracle has an awesome death animation, just because it's got that green crystal technology inside of it. And if there is one turret over a mineral line, you're not putting up any shields on those. You're going to die. Well, you'll get the shields up, but it's going to die, and it's going to explode, and it looks really sweet the way it falls apart.
Indeed. But that's not even the most exciting part about the Oracle right now. They're getting a brand new ability called Phase Shield. Well, they already have it. This patch has been out for almost a week now. It targets friendly units, and they are shielded from harmful effects for 5 seconds. These harmful effects include fungal growth, corruption, contaminate, graviton beam, concussive shells, abduct, revelation, vortex, and the 250mm strike cannons. Phase Shield removes the effect and prevents units from being affected on all of these. With EMP, it removes the anti-cloaking effect, but it does not remove the damage dealt to your shields. And with Neural Parasite, it does not remove the effect, but it will prevent units from being affected after this is used, so you can use it before they are Neural Parasited.
Yeah, a very cool ability because it has these various classifiers to it. As you said, you can't remove something that's already on a target. So if you are fungal, you can't emergency use it.
You can. You just can't do it on Neural Parasite is the only one that works like that.
Oh, interesting. Well, the same. It has a 5-second duration,
right?
Which
exactly.
is nothing. I mean, this is when you're pushing into the choke point and getting something done.
Yeah, well, I don't know. 5 seconds in StarCraft can seem like a lifetime, especially once you get to late game and you're seeing a lot of fungal use or a lot of, I almost said strike cannon. When did we ever see strike cannon use? But say, example, fungal growth. You're seeing a lot of fungal growth use. If you get multiple, clutch phase shields off, it's going to be a complete game changer. This is going to make what's going to make the casters scream and just have their minds blown. This is going to be the game changer that we're going to see in the future.
Abduct. Also, I mean, there's a thing that you're in a great situation. You love hanging out where you currently are with that unit, and you can keep it there. That's amazing. With the preordained ability, I actually tooled around with this past week, and it's small, and it's pretty short. Like, this isn't going to be replacing any observers, really, for, heavy cloak detection. Right. It's basically something that you'll probably have one oracle flying around, getting busy, shielding minerals and whatnot. And then if you're going straight early air, you might have an oracle hanging out in your base just in case to catch like a Dark Templar. But I mean, the range is so small. If they go 2 places at once, there's no way. And the energy cost of it is still almost a half of your entire energy. So
yeah, exactly. Now, when it comes to the other ability that got changed in Tomb, David Kim said that they were facing two issues with Entomb. First, that lower skilled players who did not react quickly would take way too large of an economic hit. And secondly, higher level players who reacted almost instantly took too little damage from the ability. So what they did is they have reduced it to 25 seconds, but the health of the Entomb has been increased to 100, and the cost per unit has changed from 150, 200 to 150, 150. I like this change, especially given the reason that they've put forward. This makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, no, absolutely, I agree. I still wish they would change the tooltip sound because it's still your workers, your harvesters are under attack. And if you're playing Protoss and you see that red dot hovering right above your mineral line, that usually means you're getting the worst thing in the world, which is freaking dropped with sentries. And then they're going to wall around your minerals and then kill everything inside. Or there might be DTs in there. It gives me heart attacks. And this happens, until you can get a spore crawler up or something.
Well, Kyle,
it can't happen multiple times.
Well, Kyle, being the voice actor of us two, I ask you, what do you think the message should be?
Our minerals are under sea? I have no idea.
Our minerals are bubbles.
Yeah. There's shields on our minerals, guys.
Exactly. I'm not sure what they could change it to, but I do agree. I think it should be, I don't know. Our minerals are under attack. Asterix. Like, I don't know.
Or something.
Our minerals are, something funky's going on. Fix it.
Or just get like I don't know, for the SCV to be like, I can't mine or something.
Yeah. Anyways, the Mothership Core and the Mothership have also had changes made. Recall now costs 100 energy. The Mothership Core will now start with 50 energy, and when upgraded, the energy will set back to 50. And the range of the Purifier Beam has been increased from 7 to 10, which is, I think, very significant because the Purifier Beam already hits pretty hard.
Yeah, well, in the Purifier, it's such a great defensive tool if you're going air. I mean, again, this is, kind of the focus of Heart of the Swarm is Protoss and their big air guns. but it lets you defend yourself with not much gate tech early on,
Well,
or
something
having to go, cannons.
Well, one of the things I was reading, David Kim just posted today, actually, was they believe that Protoss has the hardest time with early game rushes of all the races, so this is also definitely to help them with that, because you can have this thing up really quick.
Yeah. No, and it doesn't cost much, and you can get it outright fast. Yeah. So, and I agree with this change absolutely about the energy going into a mothership, because you have less skilled players who, hang out, don't really use their mothership core, upgrade to the mothership, and suddenly it has full energy. And that's pretty overpowered.
Yeah. The carrier...
I did witness this week a guy who, Dasan last night, I was playing in the StarCast chat room in the beta, and he must have spent 30 minutes getting this ready because his mothership core ended up in my base. And it must have been quite the trek to get it all the way over there.
I was about to say, that's pretty special.
It was cool. Like, I acknowledge the coolness of which it was delivered, but sadly it died quite easily in an offensive situation.
Is it wrong that I think the mothership core has a cooler graphic than the mothership?
I'm a little upset about that as well. I feel like they need to rework the mothership to have that in the middle of it, because it's just weird that the core is almost as big as like a flying city as it's supposed to be, and there's no city in a core.
Yeah, well, it's, again, you run into that issue of RTS scale, and we're just nitpicking.
Yeah, sure.
It's a very cool unit, and I hope it sticks around. Speaking of units, I hope stick around. The carrier is back, and I was making fun of it on This Week in Blizz, saying, "Oh yay, now we have 2 capital ships Protoss are never going to build." But then once we get into the GSL match that I highly recommend this week, I'm wrong, because there's definitely still a place for this unit.
I haven't seen that match. I'm excited to hear what you have to say about it. I didn't know that happened today, so...
Oh, man, dude.
Yeah, it's super excited to look that up.
A beautiful, beautiful game.
Well, all the same, the carrier, it really adds a really cool part to the game now, because you have the carrier that sits at about mid-range, or mid-long range, and sends out the interceptors. And then about, 2 units behind that can fly the Tempest. And it's a really great position for these 2 units to be in together. And I think they're going to work really well in conjunction. It's not something that you can easily pull out of, though. I mean, carriers take a long time to build, and so do Tempests. So this is kind of a mega strategy, overarching strategy for the game. And then if it fails, you just need to, call your losses. And I was against Terran in this instance, so he instantly went a ton of Vikings. I stupidly continued to go air and got wiped. But another note on carriers being in Hard the Swarm, once they go out of a certain range, all the interceptors have to return back to the carrier. This is a huge disadvantage against Vipers, because I was up against carriers. I could pull them out of the range of their attack. All the interceptors fly back into the thing. There's nothing else to target. I don't even have to smart target my units. Once the Viper pulls it into my army, it's dead.
Yeah.
So I feel like the carrier needs something like I don't know, like those little smoke missiles you always see in movies to like intercept, something that or like a fade or something that untargets it, because ultimately that's the problem. If you're in a good position, and there are a few times that you'll have that great a position with a carrier where interceptors are fully engaged and your carrier is safe.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting.
It needs something. I mean,
yeah.
It could just be...
I'll be really impressed, though, if we see anything like you're saying, because carriers don't get that much use. I'll be interested to see if this even becomes an issue that's brought up by pros.
Sure, and this could even be a thing that's fixed by good mass recall play.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, I'm glad to see it back. It's such a like flagship. Well, flagship, no pun intended. Like, I think StarCraft, I think carriers. So
yeah. I mean, that's one of the big problems. And they didn't introduce the Brood Lords in the past game in Wings of Liberty, so there was that weird overlap, and a particularly disappointing overlap for Protoss, because suddenly there's a unit that's mocking you, that's better than what you have, that's been in the game longer.
Yeah.
Speaking of mocking.
Yes, moving on to the Tempest. The attack range has been reduced from 22 to 15, and the damage has been changed from 30 to 20, plus 20 to massive, and the range upgrade has been removed. David Kim said that now that the carrier is back as the general capital ship option, we are adjusting the role of the Tempest to be more specific. The Tempest is now a specific counter unit against massive units. The plan for the Tempest is to be a viable option in PvZ late game against Broodlords, as well as in the PvP late game against mass Colossi.
You know, I haven't gotten a chance to play with the Tempest in those particular situations, but I did come across Thor's last night while I was playing as Protoss. And at 50 damage, with 3 of these, you can tear through some serious massive real quick.
Yeah, I agree. I haven't seen much use myself either. I've been watching some streams this week. Haven't not seen much Tempest play still. But I think with this change, I think there's now actually a place for the unit, which is before there wasn't. And I could see this I could see this almost going live with still very little play, and it'll be something that kind of eventually goes into fad, kind of like how we didn't see battle cruisers really used in esports for a long, long time. And then all of a sudden, like, what was the MLG we went to Orlando, where we just saw a ton of battle cruiser play.
Yeah, almost a year now, and they've definitely gone out again.
Yeah, they've gone out of style again, but it's something that stays in the game, and it kind of goes. It depends on what the meta game is.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see it. It's such a damn cool graphic. I just want to see it used.
And I agree that it shouldn't have a splash, because that does overlap with Colossi and Archons, and just every single one of our 3 tiers are going to have a splash unit at the end. That's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I still feel like there's more tweaking to be done, and you're gonna have a Tempest. There's not always going to be massive units for you to shoot in every game, so
right.
Get some better stuff done with them.
Yeah. Well, let's get into Terran and sound the trumpet. I'm a little sad. The Warhound is just gone. That's obviously the biggest news from this patch. I got a couple tweets from people like, "Oh, I bet Garrett's happy. He hated how it looked." I agree. I still think it was it looked like a portalit on legs. but damn, was that thing overpowered and fun to screw with for a week.
Yeah, I mean, it was a souped-up SUV in my opinion, an SUV that grew legs. But I am sad to see that. I mean, what's your opinion as a longer-term Terran player? There, of course, are those who are saying, "Well, I'm not even going to buy the game because I don't get anything anymore."
Well, yeah, as a Terran player, it feels very weird because I'm getting in, and I still feel like the Widow Mine. At least for the last week, I felt like the Widow Mine wasn't doing. It was still just not useful. We'll get into the most recent patch that's going up right now as we speak, and that's hopefully going to change. They buffed it quite a bit. But yeah, from a Terran standpoint, it's like, well, the majority of my gameplay feels exactly the same.
Yeah, I mean, we have a stronger Reaper now. You have the Hellions and Battle Hellions as that continues to be tweaked. But
well, okay, that's a good point. You bring up the Reaper. I have not been disciplined enough to sit down and really learn some new Reaper openings that have actually become rather strong. Blizzard has changed it up in that aspect. So you asked Mike personally, yeah, I'm kind of like, my play hasn't changed too much, but yeah, Reapers are actually somewhat viable now.
Sure, but they haven't done anything to the Reaper that's going to help lower tier players use them, because the health is the same and the combat regen takes quite a while to kick in. I mean, it's not a constant thing. You have to run away for a time and hide there to get that going.
I don't know. Even when I was terrible, I could still get a Reaper in and out of a base, so we'll have to see.
Well, with the new seeing up the cliffs as well.
That is really, really cool. I'll be curious to see if that stays or not. I'm curious if there'll be any abuses that come out of that as we move forward in the beta.
I would like to see it change. I mean, this is strictly my opinion, because I despise Reapers when they are, working well, because they do have bonuses against light. And that's horrible as Zerg, because your 2 early game units, drones and Zerglings, are going to die amazingly quick. Yep.
But, dude, you get one bite in on a Reaper and they're dead.
Yeah, and you have a Queen, and Protoss, they have a Stalker, so...
Especially since the Queen buff, I mean, you guys are fine against Reapers.
Yeah, well, depends how busy you are, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's your fault if you didn't scout the Reaper, and then you don't build enough Queens to deal with the Reapers.
Exactly.
It's on you. So, So the next thing was the Reaper. Now we kind of discussed that. Let's talk a little bit more about the Hellion. The Battle Hellions can now be built from the factory. It has an armory requirement, and there is now a new upgrade at the armory that will allow transformation between the battle mode and the normal mode. This basically means that before you've got an armory, all you can do is make standard Hellions. Once you have the armory, you can make Battle Hellions, but you have to make them in that form. You cannot switch between the two forms until you research the upgrade of Transform.
Which is at the armory?
It's at the armory, yes.
Interesting.
Yeah, it seems like a tech lab upgrade, doesn't it?
It does, but then again, there are more important things at the tech lab, particularly in that mid-game section.
Right.
Siege tanks.
Yes, indeed. Which I kind of like. At the same time, though, then you have to, if you only, depending on how many armories you build, if you're going like double armory super early, okay, but that's kind of weird. You have to make a choice. Do I want like one weapons for my vehicles, or do I want to be able to transform? So that's another decision you need to make. So it's always cool. And then finally, the Widow Mine. Last week, they removed the armory requirement, so now you can spit these things out super fast and super early. You slap a reactor on your factory, every 20 seconds you've got 2 Widow Mines.
Yep, and a lot of the complaints about these are a lot like, I mean, if you burrow banelings, you can auto set them to detonate when something comes in, or at least crawl up out of the ground and unburrow when something comes within a range of them, and then they attack it. Right. So the Widow Mine is going to be a lot more powerful in the use of someone who has that map awareness and actually selects what it's jumping towards rather than using the auto select feature, because all I've come up against in my ladder play has been auto select, and that can be countered with a single unit. Yep. Do I want to check if they have Widow Mines? Well, I'll just send 5 Zerglings one at a time all over the map to just see what's up.
Yep, that's exactly what you did to me the first time we played, and I was using Widow Mines, and I didn't even know you could turn that damn thing off, and I was just like, oh, these things suck. So I'm glad to figure that little trick out. Now I just need to upgrade my micro so I can actually do that correctly.
Sure.
Anyways, so we've been talking a little bit about the patch that's coming up right now. It's beta balance number 3, and some of the changes that are coming up. We'll start with the Protoss. The Mothership Core is getting more changes. The cost of Purify is now 100. The duration has been lowered to 25 seconds, and the damage has been increased from 25 to 45. Damn. Like, damn.
Do we know what the previous length of the Purify was?
I don't offhand. I'd have to go traipsing through the...
Sure. Either way, we've had a range upgrade. We've now had a cost increase and a duration decrease and damage increase. Jeez, they're really
massive damage increase.
Yeah,
From 45 to 45. That's a big jump.
So they want this to be an emergency button.
Yeah, exactly. I was already having a little bit of trouble against Purify. Again, but in a defensive way, you were going into their base, and Purify was just lasting too long. Yes.
Okay, interesting. I wonder if this is to take away offensive Purify, because moving the mothership all the way over there and then getting to only park it there for 25 seconds and then it's out of energy. Maybe that's what they're fixing.
I don't know. We haven't really had David Kim's kind of breakdown yet, so we'll have to see.
Yeah, that's what I'm just curious to see, is what this is in response to, or just they don't like the way it's working.
Yeah. The Oracle, the Entomb duration has been increased to 30. Now we talked about that it was decreased, I think, to 25, so it's up another 5 seconds. The health of Entomb nodes have been increased from 100 to 130, and the duration of Revelation has been increased from 30 to 45. And then they also fixed the bug where the Oracle was not correctly classified as a psionic unit. Kind of important. So this is tweaking of the
for its own defenses. There's nothing that gets a bonus for hitting a psionic unit.
Yeah, exactly. So now this is a tweak from the kind of the nerf to it that we were seeing last week.
Well, they
not really
continue
nerf.
to
It was more of a
balance. Yeah.
Balance, yeah.
But they're increasing the health nodes even more, which is interesting.
Yeah.
It's odd. It must be hard to patch this at this point, because people are, of course, going to build new units more. And in my games, in my ladder, I automatically build, a spore crawl and a spine in my minerals. I used to do that if I saw something coming. But now I just assume someone's going to be getting an Oracle, and I'll probably like this be in here. So
Yeah,
I don't know
that-
if that health
It's
increase
that
seems...
beta test meta game that's going on. It's like, what are the
Yeah.
new units? What counters those new units? I'm going to do that blindly because I know you're probably making those units.
Exactly. I mean, I played a game where I didn't make Corruptors against Protoss, and it was dumb because, of course, I ended up getting shot with Tempests
Yep.
from out of range.
Yep, indeed. So I mean, you got to figure this Entomb ability has got to be a little difficult to balance because we haven't had anything like this, any move, any ability like this in the game yet. There's been no ability that lets you shield a mineral, so it's new territory for them.
And this, I'd love to hear his response to the duration of Revelation as well, because it's just such a small area. I mean, it's got to be half the size of a full scan. And sure, it's cool to have vision for that long, but I can't think of any cloaked unit that would hang out in that area long enough to partake in 45 seconds worth of being revealed.
Well, I think this is more for the benefit of having sight of a small area for that long more than it is of having detection in that area for that long.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I mean, also, if you do it, I mean, in a small choke or something, like one you artificially made, it can mean the difference between getting a cannon or a turret up in time. Well, obviously you can't, not a turret, because Terran wouldn't have this, but yeah.
Yeah, and it still might be fulfilling that role that they wanted it to with the other ability that gave you sight of a building and its surrounding area. I haven't experimented with it, but I know siege tanks, of course, have a slightly bigger range than their own sight. And in fact, slightly bigger range than, what's indicated on the circle they portray. I don't know if the Tempest then has a larger range than it can see, in which case Oracle plus Tempest would be a good combination to get stuff done.
Yeah. Bedrockness in the chat room makes a good point, too, that it's got to be difficult balancing this because a large majority of the pros are still spending time on Wings of Liberty because that's what all the tournaments are. Probably not
or
getting
they're
as many hours logged by pros as they would like.
Or they're insulting you so bad that you have to ban them.
All right, Idra, that's it. You're done.
You're playing a free game, man. And you know what? Free and game. Like game and free. These are both classifiers that mean you should have fun.
I think this is the point we keep coming back to on what separates this show from all of the other StarCraft shows out there. We always err on the side of just enjoying the game.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah. So, not that I don't enjoy the other shows out there.
Sure, not that we don't enjoy winning. I mean, winning is great. Love winning.
Yeah. But we like to talk about things like scale problems and in the graphics of our units.
Yes.
Which obviously don't impact balance whatsoever. Unless it's just too big and I can't see my units. Then it impact balance.
Sure.
So, anyway, the Terran got a few changes as well. The Battle Hellion, while in battle mode now, is considered a biological unit. Yeah.
Why?
I'm a little confused about this as well.
Because the whole point of the Battle Hellion was to deal with Charge Lot Archon. And giving it biological means the Archon's doing bonus damage.
I thought Archon did bonus damage towards light, not biological.
No, it's biological,
Is
which
it?
is
Okay.
why it's
All
such
right.
a big anti-Zerg thing. Interesting. Can it be healed by a medevac now?
Yes.
I mean, if it's biological.
Yes, it can.
Things are getting weird then.
Yes, it is. Wow. Okay.
But why would it be biological? I mean, is the guy, like, exposed now? The second it transforms, he's like, well, I'm not in a car anymore. Just sitting out here. That sucks for him.
Yeah. I could see where, at least right now, definitely, I can see where we're going to get this divide, where if people are going back, they're going to stick to Standard Hellion. If people are going by Bioforce, they're going to stick to Battle Hellion.
Is it light? Light biological? I know I'm posing questions you probably can't answer.
Yeah, I don't believe so. I'm pretty sure it's just Bio.
Because the normal Hellion is light, which means if it gets hit by a Baneling, it'll do bonus damage.
Yeah, if that's a good modifier to that statement. Is
So
if.
maybe they're making that trade-off, saying the Battle Hellion is better now against Banelings, but not as good in these other situations.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's adding that little extra bit of meta strategy that you need to keep in mind with the Battle Hellion. I'm all for this
that'd be great.
if my Medevac can heal it. That's great.
Yeah, now that's biological. Be great against Warhound.
Yeah.
I really hope, just to throw him a bone, they put in that whatever reactor it was for the battle cruiser, because I want to see that. I want to see battle cruiser.
That was so much fun at BlizzCon, man. You have no idea.
I mean, I know it's not as fast, but I want to like the and then like boom, teleport like right above my hive, and I'm like, well, shit, it's battle cruisers, and I'd be okay with that.
That's great. You're my own personal soundboard. It's fantastic. The Widow Mine, the splash damage has been increased from 35 to 60. I cannot wait to get back in and screw around with these guys.
Yeah, it's still pretty small, the splash damage, in comparison to the initial hit on the main unit, but that is an entire flock of Zerglings.
Yep. Indeed it is.
And if you don't have any armor, it's still doing 35 damage, which means your Zerglings are dead.
Yep, indeed. It's definitely going to be worth your time now, I think, to buckle down and get the discipline to have that map awareness to micro these things properly. Right. David Kim did make a few blue posts this week that are worth bringing up. Obviously, the one that we've heard that's been kind of the fad suggestion is that Widow Mine should cost 1 supply.
Yeah.
And he addressed this specifically, saying that Widow Mine is a 160 damage unit that instantly 2 to 4 shots the strongest, latest tier units in the game. Not to mention you can build them 2 at a time within a 20-second build time on each. We don't think it'll be a good idea to have these guys be 1 pop, especially for the 200 supply cases. We do agree that the Widow Mine is not at an amazing place right now, but we think fixing the unit itself to be good is a priority than just simply lowering the supply cost to 1. We have more changes for the Widow Mine this week as well, so please check them out. And please note, one of our top priorities in the upcoming weeks is to have the Widow Mine be a really solid unit.
I think they need to, I mean, again, personal opinion here.
Right.
I feel like it needs an attack outside of burrowing. And it can be a minor attack, just something that if it gets caught, you can go, oh, well, at least I'll do 5 damage to everything, or something.
I don't know if I agree with that.
I mean, Banelings, when they are killed, still do a slight bit of damage to the area around them.
Yeah, but Banelings are such a completely different monster because they are intended to move and kill. The Widow Mine is not intended to move and kill.
Yeah, but I've caught so many Widow Mines while burrowing. Granted, that's the people I'm playing. That's their fault for not positioning them or thinking ahead, but it's expensive. And again, it's taking up a lot of your supply to have even 4 of these out on the map.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. It'd be interesting.
I'm glad Widow Mines don't exist in a world with Jungle Basin and other smaller maps where it's like everyone walks through this choke right here.
God, dude, Blast from the Past, I forgot about Jungle Basin.
It'd be the worst thing in the world.
Oh, you're a Zerg player, so it's probably just stuff of nightmares for you.
Yeah, no, I'm very happy to have plenty of places to expand.
Yeah. This one I included specifically for you, Kyle. Different types of Nidus worms. David Kim said the new Nidus worm ideas didn't work out well in our internal testing. They were one of our stronger units, but just didn't make the cut for the launch of the beta. And that right now, we think the changes to Zerg are in the right direction and currently have no plans to revisit these new Niduses anytime soon.
Hopefully in the campaign, though, I still want a giant Hydra-spitting poison everywhere.
Agreed.
And there was also one that was going to like pop up and spew broodlings.
Yes.
In a row. I mean, basically, it would be the same thing as the swarm host.
I was about to say, it's kind of filling the same position as the swarm host.
And either way, swarm hosts are slow and Hydras are in, which means Nidus worms are getting a lot of use in my book. So
yeah,
I'm fine with no changes. Please don't make them worse. That'd be horrible.
I think they're good as is. We're seeing play in GSL matches and in average Joe like your games. I mean, I think they're in a good place right now. So, anyways, we have a link to that. It was actually a really awesome Reddit post. A guy kind of put all of these together when grabbed all of David Kim Blue's posts from the week. The skunk_2 on Reddit. So big props to that guy. There's a link to that in the show notes. Go check him out over on the StarCast.com.
Well, and there's also
a room for you guys.
A post by Justin Browder or Dustin Browder.
Justin Browder, is that Dustin Browder's more handsome
evil
cousin?
twin? He doesn't have a mustache. But he was saying that there is no secret unit waiting in the wings for the Warhound, which was sad. But they've shot down every single person who's been like, oh well, no Warhound. What do I get?
Yep.
you don't get anything.
Nope. We're just gonna make the Widow Mine not suck.
Hopefully. And the Battle Hellion biological.
Yep. Indeed. Well, just in smaller news of changes just in general coming to the game, we're going to get a appear in offline mode soon, coming to
Yeah, I
Battle.net
heard
as a
about that.
whole. I'm really stoked about this.
I feel like we really need that in between, though, for it to work, because Steam has that feature. And that works all well and good because I can set it before I log into a game, thereby not announcing to the world, hey, I'm playing a game. Oh, just kidding? And everyone goes, wait, no. He's playing that game, but he went offline. I know what's up here.
Well, if people are that quick, then God bless them. If you're
Well,
that
there's alerts and
interested, if you're that interested in what I'm doing, all right.
Come on. Come now. You remember AIM, right? AOL Instant Messaging.
Oh yeah.
That you could set different tones for certain people when they came online.
Run!
And you had those set for certain people. Yes, either to run away or to bother them because you all liked them and stuff. And, ooh, you got a crush on them. So.
I never did that. What are you talking about?
No one ever. Oh, God. It's embarrassing.
Oh, it's horrifically embarrassing.
Poor girls. Poor middle school girls.
Yep.
I apologize.
Yep, I'm so sorry to every crush I ever had.
Yeah. Oh, man. I mean, it's
I
thank
was a
goodness that's a
relentless
thing in the
man.
world. Because otherwise it'd just be called getting weird on someone. But no, you can. Oh, you have a crush on them. Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah,
Instead of like,
aw.
you need to stop getting weird all over them. At least crush has that. Maybe something could happen.
Yeah. Anyways, I'd have no crushes on anyone I play Battle.net games with, so that's not a problem. Moving out of the balance changes and all that stuff, let's talk about some esports stuff. Sad news: Liquid Hey Pro retired this week.
Yeah, heading back to school.
Yeah, you did.
I feel like retiring is just something they shouldn't do. Because they're going to come back in one way or another. Like, you're going to go to school, sure, but at some point, I mean, you love this. You're going to get the itch. I mean, and the number of times that I've said, I'm never playing Magic the Gathering. I'm never playing... Well, I did say I'm never playing Pokemon again. Or at least Pokemon cards, because I'm too old for that now. I agree with, never playing that again. But, like, World of Warcraft and all these other games, I've done that too. And it's a...
I don't know. I could see. I mean, he's retiring from playing it professionally. Yeah, he might come back and manage a team or do something else with the team. But he's saying, I'm not playing professionally again. So.
Yeah. It's a little too definitive. I'd rather he said, I'm going to focus on school for a bit. But that's just,
Yeah.
nitpicky, I guess.
Well, celebrities always die in threes. Do you think Team Liquid's going to have people retire in threes? Who do we think the third person to retire is going to be?
Oh, man.
Or better yet...
He's getting all the thank yous lined up here so we can just pick a name out of the list. Oh, jeez.
Please not TLO.
I know. That's actually
Please.
where my eyes first fell.
Don't you dare, TLO. My heart will break.
It certainly won't be Tasia anytime soon.
Oh, no,
At least,
no.
hopefully not in the next 2 months.
Yeah, I really hope not. How sad are you about that, by the way?
Oh, about the
DRG.
SmackDown?
DRG,
Yeah.
Tasia. I'm sorry, man.
Dude, I was impressed, though. Like, I can't fault him. Well, we'll hold that until we get into it.
Okay, all right. Anyways, yeah, so go check it out. We have a link to it, but if you go to Team Liquid right now, teamliquid.net, it's the front image. It's Hey Pro, just like Genro wrote a goodbye letter kind of explaining why he's leaving and all that jazz. It's very personal, very heartfelt, and I'm sad to see him go.
Yeah,
So,
the picture's him laying on what I can only assume is a badly colored convention carpet, and you shouldn't lay on those. Those are nasty.
Yeah. So our, good luck to you, Hey Pro. Our thoughts are with you as you join Jinro and Frodo and all the other ring bearers on the white ship and sail to the Undying Lands.
Yep.
We had the European WCS Finals this past weekend. And I actually finally caught them. I'm so bad about catching live tournaments that aren't like MLG or something heavily advertised. And now someone's going to send me an email saying like, dude, Blizzard advertised the crap out of this.
Yeah, this has been like, this date, it's coming up. But yeah,
I'm
I
still
agree.
still really bad about catching these live. So I was really stoked. It was a nice treat on my Sunday afternoon. I'm like, oh, sweet. Stefano's playing Vortex. I can't wait to watch this. So Vortex I was not familiar with at all, and he played really, really stinking well. Spoiler alert: Stefano won, but yeah, that does not mean Vortex did not give it his all. I mean, he took it to a second best of 3, and he played just stinking well. But it was a really, really good ZVZ, and I was waiting for this to pop up in the chat room. They beat me to it. Yeah, DreamHack's production is par none. No one even comes close.
Yeah, they've been representing for a long time, and each time they come back, they show us what's what. I mean, I remember DreamHack, 2 years ago when we started the show, and it was like in a tent outdoors. But still, for then, like, that was the mad note. Oh, I guess I was supposed to keep talking because you silenced yourself. Oh, are you silenced? Can you hear me?
Now I am not muted.
Okay.
My bad.
No problem.
Yeah, so I don't know. Like, even if you know who won it, if you haven't checked it out, really, you need to go see this if you enjoy ZVZs, because this is a very good finals. And damn, Stefano, I think this makes him in the top 3 of like the most earned players or something with this win for the year.
I bet at this point.
Yeah, he's doing crazy good. I bet AG's stoked as hell.
Well, did you see the video they put out right before it?
No, I did not.
It was basically another one of In Control's Let's Sit Down on the Couch and Have a Talk episodes. And it was him talking about the EG curse because, of course, Thor Zane and other, and Huck and other sorts of players, as soon as they got picked up, they seemed to stop doing as hot as they were. But, and, it was a big joke about it. Is Stefano going to break the curse? And by the time it was publicized at all, he had already broken it thoroughly.
Yeah. Yeah, indeed. So I'm glad to see Stefano still doing well. I'll definitely be pulling for him at the finals. I'm a big Stefano fan. I'm a fan. So the finals are happening in Shanghai on October 13th through the 14th, and that just seems like it seems so far away now. I cannot wait for these.
Yeah, it'll be real exciting to see this square off. I wonder if they aren't combining this with the GSL Finals or anything like that, are they? I
don't believe so. I'm pretty sure this is a standalone thing because they're going to have a giant Warcraft tournament there too.
Oh, that'll be interesting.
World of Warcraft, the Arena Finals. Yeah. I say Warcraft and just everyone assumes WoW, but yeah, I forget. Warcraft 3 is still being played by some weird little niches.
Yeah, someone's still yelling about undead being underpowered.
Yeah, exactly. So let's talk about the GSL. Let's talk about your heartbreak, Kyle.
Broken in half.
That was a matchup I definitely, in terms of a fan, I was having a hard time with because it was like, I'd be really happy if either of these people won. But I gotta say, Kyle, and I'm sorry, I was kind of leaning towards Teja because he hasn't had a GSL championship yet. Sure,
and that seems to be the problem with DRG right now is just lacking drive and infestors.
Yeah. Indeed.
As Artosis continued to point out, and absolutely true, DRG has gone back to his roots with his amazing Mutalisk play. It was really refreshing to see, and just skips all the infestors and all these wonderful situations where he could have held, just go down the tube, and it's not the guy we saw 6 months ago, clapping his hands in his booth and cheering at everything. It just, something's got him down, and I mean, it's clearly the lack of wins, under his belt. He is going for another win, which, probably doesn't motivate you as much as your first win.
Yeah, indeed.
But Rain was a story to see because that guy was playing incredible. I was mad impressed. I mean, his style was very heavy in the, Archon charge lot, but his storms were beautiful. Oh my goodness. I haven't been this impressed with a Kespa player to date.
He played so damn well. He dropped one game. He came out first in the group, and he only dropped a single damn game.
Yeah, and it was immaculate.
Yeah, I'm impressed. I'm eating my lunch, as it were. Sorry, as my Kespa
it's
smack
one
talk
guy.
has been.
It's one guy of a whole organization.
Still, he's doing really freaking
Eat your lunch
well.
later.
He's doing very well.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see how that goes, man. Then, dude, my pick of the week definitely goes to the second set of Seed versus Symbol, specifically Game 2. Holy freaking crap. After the show tonight, Kyle, before you eat, before you poop, I don't care how bad you need to go to the bathroom after this. You need to watch this game.
So there were motherships, you said.
There were motherships, there were carriers, there were so many impressive parts. First off, Seed's going for a mothership. Right as it's about to pop out, Symbol contaminates the Nexus that's building the mothership.
Oh, wow.
So delaying it from getting out on the field.
Yeah.
Symbol had just under he had so many spine crawlers to the point that he forced Arctosis to actually count them all when he had just under 50 spine crawlers. He had just blankets of spine crawlers. And then we got to this, it was a super long game, super crazy macro game, and we got to this late game where it was just mass Broodlord versus mass Carrier with a mothership cloaking all of it. So much to the point there were so many units on the field that it started to lag when the mothership cloak came into play.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it's
That's old school.
And
now.
GSL has got to have the best damn computers on the planet.
Yeah, or at least ones that, I mean, it is a production facility, ones that can handle a bit.
Yeah, exactly. So this was ridiculous. This is definitely one that's going to, when we pick our favorite games of the year at the end of 2012, this is going to be up there for me. And then just finally, the killing blow. Guess what the killing blow was, Kyle? Infested Terran.
Just massive numbers.
Mass infested Terran. He fungled everything and then just blanketed this entire area with so many more infested Terran than I've ever seen. I couldn't believe it. And just won the game.
That sounds worth seeing.
Yeah, you gotta check it out, man. It's a good one. It's a very good one. We have a link to it in the show notes. And if you're not subscribed, as I say every week, get a GSL ticket because you are missing out. So, do it now. It's still going on. I think tonight is what? Group C or something tonight? We've got Group A and D already played, so they're going not alphabetically, so I'm confused.
Okay.
Yes. No, we got a little bit of a break. The next will be Group C on September 26th is when that's coming up, and it's MVP, JYP, Curious, and Marine King.
I've been digging through the Code A play, and I don't recognize anyone. It's like all the Code A just completely washed itself free, and I can't find anyone I like.
Yeah, there's a lot of fresh blood moving out onto the scene now.
Other than Naniwa doing a PvP next Tuesday. But beyond that,
I'm so sad for him.
Yeah, well, he got smacked out of there.
Yeah, he did. Other news this week: another round of 16 has been completed. The OSL round of 16, and the people moving on are Rain, Parting, Last, Flash, Flyin', MC. I thought this would make you feel a lot better, Kyle. DRG beat Marine King and is moving on, and Oz. They're all going on to the round of 8 for the OSL.
Nice.
Yeah. So, DRG, not doing so hot on the GSL, but he's doing pretty good in the OSL.
Yeah, I hope so. He needs a win to rebuild his confidence because he's always been a shy guy, and it's got him down, particularly that, one several months ago where he couldn't play in his hometown.
Yeah. God, I was so sad about that. That sucks so hard. So, anyways, let's moving us to the end of the show. Before we leave, and chat room real quick, if you have a couple questions, feel free to shoot them at us. But I have a story I have to share. This didn't come to us via emails, came to me via Skype from our old friend Sandman, who used to do the Mod Spot. Wait, yes, Sandman did Mod Spot?
Yes.
Okay. I would have felt so bad if I effed up his old segment. He sent me a message on Skype. Unfortunately, I wasn't there to talk back to him, but it was an awesome story. Sandman wrote, so guys, I hung out with my professor for History of Media Arts today. Turns out he's a total gamer. We were talking about new media stuff and how I got into the school for radio because of all the podcast stuff, and then it came up that he plays StarCraft and that he also listens to StarCast. So I looked at him and I said, until next time, this has been Sandman. And he freaked out.
That's awesome.
I love that story. Yeah. Ninja Bob in the chat room asks, are we still playing Diablo 3 and are we going to play Torchlight 2? Diablo 3 has been collecting hell-like amounts of dust for me.
Yes. Yeah,
because they just have added nothing that is enticing me to keep playing.
Again, we've been saying it. We want Horde mode.
I like level up experiences that are gear driven, and for me, WoW is filling that void.
Yeah, that's
because
what a lot of it comes down to.
Because they generally they add new stuff. Granted, it's been like a year since the last patch, but we're getting an expansion on Tuesday, so yeah, that'll be
That's forgivable at this point.
Yes, exactly. So I'm gonna.
But no, I agree. I'm the exact same way. Like I have, there's the many different genres of video games, and very often I have one game that fulfills that niche for a time, and it gets traded out, and there's only room for one. So I am interested in playing some Borderlands. I never played the first one.
Oh, the first one was great, man. I really liked the original Borderlands.
But I'm hearing just wonderful things about the second one. So
yeah. I hear it's still pretty hard. I mean, the first one was pretty hard because it's kind of old school. Like there's just the respawn timer is a little unforgiving, and that is probably my biggest complaint.
Well, it's not cover based or anything. It's more like a Doom shooter.
Yeah, kind of, but like really fun because I usually don't like Doom shooters. I don't know. I love it. It's like Diablo.
Well, Serious Sam.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm really not that excited for Torchlight either because I'm just kind of burnt out after Diablo, but I am really excited for Borderlands. Yeah,
Torchlight, I didn't really get into the first one either because when I saw the pictures and even played the demo, I went, oh, well, if I put this time into WoW, then I'll have friends who can enjoy my progress as well.
Yeah, indeed. So, like Borderlands is a great co-op experience as well. You get 4 people in there. It's a blast.
Yeah, it's great for cons. I don't know an Xbox, and every friend here in Chicago has an Xbox. And sadly, I don't want to play split screen because I'm so used to computer, but I don't want to pay $120 just so me and my girlfriend can play it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to probably pick it up. I'm going to wait until after Christmas, see if it's part of the Steam Christmas sale.
Good call.
I don't really have the $60 to drop right now, especially with a WoW expansion on the horizon and hopefully a StarCraft expansion on the horizon.
Worm Lips asks, what thing that was... Oh, sorry. Anyway.
What thing was in HOTS that has since been patched has made you the most excited? So what did we enjoy and is no longer in there, I guess is what he's asking?
Or what has been changed that we enjoy the most? I'm really enjoying all the attention on the Mothership core. That's a really cool... And, I mean, just the fact that Protoss is going air, because I just don't like using Colossi, and the other options are enticing me to play Protoss more, and I have this past week.
Yeah, agreed. I'm actually getting a little bit of a Protoss itch. Haven't tried it much, but I've been playing a lot. I might have made the switch to Zerg on the beta this week. Yeah. I'm not going to go too much into it because I'm still terrible, but I think I like it more than Terran.
Sure, I mean, and it's a expansion. You're more in your right to change race than ever. My problem ultimately comes down to until I have Warp Gate, I suck because I'm such a Zerg player in my mindset. Yeah. And I just don't know how to build for... I mean, I'm just terrible at Terran, absolutely. Yeah.
You know what is probably my favorite, and I've been using it a lot this week in my what little Zerg play I've been doing in the beta, is the Hydralisk speed upgrade.
Yeah, you used it?
I'm loving Hydralisk, man. I've lost some games because I blindly went Hydralisk because I just wanted to play with them, but I'm kind of enjoying it.
Last night I went mass Infestor, mass Swarm Host, and I didn't build anything else. Made all my supply it, and it worked out really well because Swarm Hosts, once you get them in a good place, you can set them and forget them. And otherwise, man, if you've got like 2 Ultras, some Hydralisks, 2 Vipers, 4 Swarm Hosts, 5 Infest, I can't handle it. Like, it was too much. I can't tab between that many units, and I'm certainly not good enough to hotkey them all and make my fingers work.
Yeah.
Yet.
Zaz Hag asks, carriers back in the mix with move and attack. Are we going to see P basically only working towards air now? I feel like gateway units are going to make a decline. I understand Blizzard wants to make air more viable in Heart of the Swarm, but I just feel like air is going to be only standard. Thoughts? I really disagree. I mean,
yeah, well,
a good gateway
I disagree.
Composition is still so... It's so versatile. And now with that mass recall ability early on...
Well, it's tough to tell right now because we are in the beta and those units, as we said, are very new, shiny, and exciting.
Yeah.
So we're going to see a lot of air. And even once the game is released, we're going to see so much air from Protoss. But their other units are just so solid.
We're going to see a pendulum swing. Is what we're going to see. We're going to see it go really far in the favor of the new units, and we're going to see it swing back, and then it's going to eventually bounce out in the middle where we're seeing a plethora of strategies with like someone like MC who's just pulling strategy after strategy after strategy out of his pocket to throw off his opponent.
Yeah, and the problem will come if they ever take air and try to make it universally good, because that means there will never be a situation where Protoss will want to go air. And just like specs in World of Warcraft, one will always be best no matter what you do. And one group of unit, one composition is always going to be best. So as long as they keep the 3 tiers, being your, psionic use, your robos, and your air, all different for different situations, it'll work out.
Yeah. So, well, that does it for this week's episode of StarCast. Thanks,
always, live chat, for the questions.
Yeah, indeed, some really good questions. We'll definitely make some more time for it next week. Anyways, make sure you tune in next week, by the way. I don't think I mentioned at the top of the show, E.G. Suppy is going to be our guest next Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time.
Ooh, so it is such a delight to have pro players on right now in this exciting part in the game.
I get to just geek out hardcore with them. Yeah. So anyways, StarCast is a production of amove.tv. We're going to have that site up soon, by the way. I've been working on it all week. No promises on when exactly, though. But head on over to thestarcast.com for the time being. That's our place to go for our forums, our archives. If you want to buy a t-shirt, tons of stuff over there. Go check out our StarCast t-shirts. I love them, but it's possibly because I designed them. You can catch us live Thursday nights, usually at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Had to do it a little earlier tonight over at twitch.tv/amovetv. Please go follow our channel. We would really appreciate it. And you can email us at starcastshow@gmail.com with any thoughts, any stories, questions, or if you just want to say hi. We love hearing from you guys. And please go follow us on Twitter at the StarCast. You can follow me at Garrett Art, and you can follow Kyle at Kyle Ferguson. And a big thanks to our production crew, Octane Pro and Captain Noobing, for all they do for our show. And hey, if you enjoy all of the other Blizzard games as well, you should check out Kyle and I's other show, This Week in Blizz, where we cover Diablo, we cover WoW, and we talk even more StarCraft. You can find that over at thisweekinblizz.com or on the iTunes Store. And when Kyle's not doing that or this, I don't know, what are you doing, Kyle?
You can find me at Biggest Fan Podcast, where we follow the fad that's driving you mad. This past week, I was driven mad by Doctor Who, and this week, I'm being driven mad by Borderlands, a game I'm yet to play, though I'm meeting up with Brock and Bola for a little LAN party this weekend. Should be a good time.
And
you're
playing
we'll be
on the
talking
Xbox?
about that Wednesday. Yeah.
Do not let the Xbox taint your opinion of it.
Oh, really?
Don't.
What's wrong with the Xbox version?
It just kind of looks like crap in comparison to the PC version.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. So don't just be
We're
like,
reaching
this is
that
ugly.
We're reaching that time. I mean, it's been really long since we've had a console swap out.
Oh, yeah. This is, I think, the longest wait in console cycle history, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, definitely seems that way.
So, anyways, that's a good point. It's a good segue for our sponsors, because now is the best time to be a PC gamer. Please go check out our sponsors, doghouse-systems.com, for their gaming rigs. They've been sponsoring our show for so long now, and our code is StarCast. It'll get you double memory for free. It'll take you from 4 gigs to 8 gigs or 8 gigs to 16 gigs of memory on your next Doghouse system, and it'll support StarCast directly in the process, and we really appreciate their support. And we'd love it if you go check them out for your next rig. Also, tweakedaudio.com, that same code StarCast will get you 30% off plus free shipping on your entire order of noise-canceling earbuds from them. And I can't say enough awesome things about both of our sponsors, because I actually own a Doghouse rig and I do have Tweaked Audio earbuds now, and they're just freaking great. So please go check them out. We thank them for their support. Freaking great. Oh, why can I hear myself all of a sudden? We thank them for their support.
I can't hear you. Well, I mean, other than you being you.
Yeah, the stream randomly unmuted itself.
Oh, good.
That was odd. So, nonetheless, that'll do it for episode 120 of StarCast. We'll see you next week with E.G. Suppy.
Take care.